Well, joining me live this morning is Ryan Donnelly from the Tanglewood Nature Center, alongside of Molasses the Toad Cane this morning. She's very jumpy, very active. Tell us a little bit about toad canes.
Yes, so Molasses here is our cane toad. So cane toads, they're originally native to kind of Central and South America. Although most people know them, they are considered an invasive species in a lot of places, including Florida and most notably Australia. But even with that, you can see she's starting to wake up a little bit this morning. But even with that, she has a lot of cool adaptations. Like you can see, she is a very large toad. She's one of the largest species of toads. And she, as you can see, is pretty active.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's her threat out in the wild? Who are some of her predators?
So that's a good question. So she has a lot of defenses that help out with her predators, because some animals like crows will like to eat her. But as you can see right here as I hold her, if she'll sit still for me, as she has these two large sacs right behind her eyes, and those have poison in them. So if an animal was to try to come up and make a meal out of her, they would get kind of a nasty surprise right there. So that poison can cause paralysis and unfortunately death in a lot of animals. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned she's native to Central and South America. Can we find her here in New York State?
So thankfully not. We cannot find these species here. It would be kind of bad if we did, since they're invasive species, but our winters, they get a little too cold for them, so that's why they can't survive up here. But down kind of in warmer weathers, that's where they like to hang out more. Yeah.
And with the solar eclipse coming up this Monday, you were mentioning to me before we got on camera that it makes her a little confused. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so a lot of different animals respond to the solar eclipse in different ways. So people can kind of sum them up as either freakouts, nocturnal behaviors, or they just they're not really bothered by it. But Molasses here, like some other frogs, what they'll usually do is they will kind of think that since it's getting dark, it must be nighttime, so they should come out and they start doing their kind of nocturnal vocalizations to kind of find other frogs, and since they think it's nighttime.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the solar eclipse coming up this Monday, just literally 6 days away, the Tanglewood Nature Center is actually holding a solar eclipse party. It's for 21 and up, but tell us a little bit about those details.
Yes. So our party, thankfully, it's booked up.
Wow.
So we have a bunch of people coming up. We're going to be doing projects kind of talking about the eclipse, talking about other animals that are affected by the eclipse, like Molasses here. And of course, we're going to be viewing the eclipse up at Tanglewood, so that'll be a lot of fun.
And do you have any tips or recommendation for folks that are heading out traveling and might come across an animal they've never seen before during the eclipse? Anything that they should know in hindsight?
Yeah, so I mean, with any animal that you see, it's always good just to kind of keep your distance, keep an eye on it, and just enjoy it while you're out there. As you can see, she's moving around a lot, but yeah.
Now, Molasses here, what's her normal lifespan like?
So that is actually a good question. I know she is about 5 or 6 years old right now, but they can get up older than that. I believe around 15 is their...
Yeah, really interesting. Did not expect a toad this morning, but it was a pleasure meeting Molasses this morning. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank you for having me.